Good morning, everyone. It's Kim here from the Forever in Motion team, ready to do a quick 30-minute class this morning, a 30-minute Forever in Motion class. Hold on a sec. There we go. A 30-minute Forever in Motion class. Usually we tend to do our classes, good morning, Leslie. We tend to do our classes for 45 minutes or an hour, but this morning is going to be quick and to the point. So we're going to do a 30-minute class this morning. So as usual, you will need a band or a tubing. You can see mine over top of my chair. You will also need a chair or a sturdy surface. And then if you can see on this side, you'll see my water bottle. We'll also have some breaks for water. So far, Leslie is the only one here, but that's okay. We are going to get started because I only have half an hour. I do just want to get going with this. So if everybody wants to join me for the warm-up, I'm going to do the warm-up in standing. You could also do your warm-up in sitting. It's completely up to you. Your hand can be on the chair. Both hands can be on the chair, one on the chair or none. It's completely up to you. If you're at home, you can be standing behind your chair. I'm simply standing beside the chair so you can see me. If I'm standing behind, you wouldn't be able to see my feet. So we're just going to start with a regular march. I hope everyone is having a fabulous start to their, what day is it? It's Tuesday. To their Tuesday. Hope that it's cold in my house this morning, so I do want to get a good warm-up in before we move on to our strength. I see someone else has joined us. Good morning. So we're just doing our march for our warm-up. And let's take this march wide. So my feet are wider, and I'm going to bring my knees up a little bit more. Again, that chair is there for support and for balance. If you need it, if you're feeling like you need it today, that's what it's there for. Having those legs wide, as taking those wider steps. Fabulous. And having beautiful posture, of course, when we're doing this, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, or as close to that as our bodies can let us be. A couple more wide, and then let's take it back to the middle. All right, so let's do a little step touch. So we're going to step to the side, touch, step to the side, touch. So it's just a regular touch right at the inside of that foot. Again, that chair or counter or couch or whatever you're using for your support is there if you need it. Otherwise, we're just step touching. Let's have our arms coming to the opposite side, trying to get that upper body warmed up just as much as that lower body. Hopefully getting your whole body warmer. I know it's not super chilly outside, but winter is just cold for me. I'm cold all winter long. All right, keep going with these step touches. And as we're going through, you know that you do not have to go the same pace as me. If you would like to go faster, you're welcome to do that. If you would like to stay on pace with me, you're welcome to do that. Or if you feel like you'd like to slow it down a little, then you're welcome to do that as well. Whichever one works for you. That's the beauty of exercise classes and the beauty of fitness. You find what works for you, the pace that works for you, and then you stick with that. All right. Let's do a few more. And last one. And come back to that march. All right. Rolling those shoulders up, back and down in this march. Good. Now we're going to switch to a V step. You know this one. We come forward, wide, and back together. So forward, wide, back, narrow. Forward, wide, back. Let's do some bicep curls with those arms. Now if you're finding that doing the V step and the bicep curls at the same time is too much, just drop the arms and just do the feet, okay? So those feet are doing, yes, a V step. Those arms are doing a bicep curl. Now you can go double time with those bicep curls if you want. You can go faster than I am, or you can go slower. It's completely up to you. But remember, we're just doing a little warm up here. We're just warming up. If you didn't catch it at the beginning, we are doing a 30-minute class today. I will do my best to keep it to that 30 minutes. We usually do a 45-minute or an hour class. I just thought it would be nice to have a shorter one if you are at a point where you're stuck for time and you don't have the full hour. You can always come back to this video. After I post the video, I will edit it at the top so it says this is a 30-minute class, so it's easier to find. Okay, now I want to come in the middle, and now we've been leading the whole time with one leg. I want you to switch and lead with the other leg. Okay, so start that V step with that other leg, and then we're going to add the arms if you can. You don't have to add those arms. Just makes your brain work a little harder, makes your body work a little harder. You notice if you start using all of your limbs, your heart rate will go up more. So just choose what works for you this morning. Hopefully you're getting warmer as we go on. Keep going. Good. Let's do 2 more. Last one. All right, let's march it out. Roll those shoulders back and down. Now I would like you to place your feet hip distance apart. Realistic idea of how big your hips are as well. Most of us think they're bigger than they actually are. Hand can be on that chair. I'm going to step back a little bit so my hand can be. One arm is going to come in front. And then what you're going to do is you're going to follow that thumb all the way around as far back as you can go. My feet stay planted. So I'm going to feel this movement in my ankles, my knees, my hips, my lower back, my upper back, my neck, my whole body. It should feel like a really nice stretch. And come back to the middle. And now let's do the other side. So that thumb is up and my gaze is just following that thumb. And you don't have to go all the way around to the back if that's not comfortable for you. You're only going as far back as is comfortable and as feels nice in that stretch. Good. Not holding your breath, we're just holding the stretch. And come back to the middle. All right, now, everyone has a chair. We're gonna come into our chair. That was a really quick warm up. We're gonna come and sit in our chair. Now we're gonna start with our postural exercises, which I like to do every single time if I can. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like my posture could always use work, right? So it's important to work on those postural muscles. So I'm sitting up in this chair, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, and there is space between my back and the back of the chair. I'm not leaning on the back of the chair, all right? So I'm gonna start with my hands on my thighs, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my shoulder blades down and together. I'm gonna squeeze them together, hold it there for a moment, and then release it forward. And back and squeeze, and bring it forward. Good. Back and squeeze, and bring it forward. Back and squeeze. You should start to feel the muscles in between your shoulder blades warming up. Back and squeeze, and bring it forward. Let's do one more. Back and squeeze, and bring it forward. All right, give that a little roll out. Hopefully that those muscles feel like they're warmed up and they're feeling like they're ready to do some more work. So we're gonna start with our arms out to the side. I know you can't see my hands. The camera isn't quite wide enough, but my palms are facing forward. My shoulders are away from my ears. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my arms back. I'm gonna squeeze my shoulder blades down and together and come forward. Back and squeeze, and come forward. Back and squeeze. Hello everyone who joined us, and come forward. So we're just doing our postural exercises for those of you who just joined in. We did a little bit of a warm up and now we're doing postural exercises. Back and squeeze. And come forward. Let's do one more. Back and squeeze. And come forward. All right, shake that out. All right, we are going to do another postural one. So tuck your elbows into your sides. Your palms are facing up. Your forearms are parallel with the floor. You can see where mine are. Okay, holding them there. Shoulders are away from our ears. We're going to turn those hands out. You notice my hands did not go down, they did not go up. They're still parallel with the floor, as far out as they can go, keeping those elbows tucked into your sides, and then cross in front. Out, and cross in front, and out, good. Cross in front, and bring them out. Make sure that those elbows stay tucked into your body. Even touching your body on this one is good. And out, and cross in front. All right, shake that out. We have one more for our posture. So our arms are out at shoulder height, or as close to shoulder height as we can get them. This time my palms are up at the ceiling. I'm going to bring my arms far enough back that if I look out of my peripheral vision at the side of my eyes, I can't see my hands. So I'm wiggling my fingers at the side, but they're far enough back that I can't see them through my peripheral vision. Now, keeping them that far back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise them up and bring them down. Now, when you're raising them up, it's important to keep them back. Okay, keep those hands back. If you notice when you're raising them up that they start to come forward on you, don't raise them up as high. Okay, so raise them up. If you start to see them, stop and come back down. You'll notice I'm not going super high up either. This is, if your hands are back far enough, you should not be able to go all the way up. Up. How you feeling? This is starting to burn. Let's do one more. We got one more in us, don't we? Up. And bring it down. Oh, all right. Shake that out. So those were our postural exercises. The next ones we're going to do are the strength ones. So I want you to grab onto your band or your tubing. I have tubing. I've told you guys this before. I had a band and I broke it. So I found this tubing downstairs, so I'm using tubing. It doesn't matter if you're using tubing or a band, it doesn't matter, okay? So we're going to start, because those postural exercises really worked your back. I don't know if you felt it in between your shoulder blades. We're just gonna go straight to chest, because generally we would do 2 back exercises and 1 chest. So we did 4 or 5 for our back, because I feel like our postural exercises are very important in our everyday function. So we're just going to move on to chest. So what I want you to do is bring that tubing right up underneath your armpits, like you're rubbing your back with a towel, drying your back with a towel. Okay, and holding on to that tubing. Always check your tubing. I just got a little bit, no, it's not a, always check your tubing and band for a tear. Check to make sure you don't have tears in your band, because if you do, then sometimes they'll break. Now I want you to bring your arms out at shoulder height, holding onto that band. Have some tension on that band or that tubing, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring it together and open back up. And bring them together. Good. So this pace is what I would like you to be doing. So we're going together and open up. Now, when we're doing strength training, pace is important. How fast you do, or how fast you slowly you do things is important. For myself, when I like to do weight training, I like to do things slower like this, because it's time under tension and it helps those muscles build. Shoulders are away from your ears, belly button is pulled in so you're not arching through your back on this. And down, let's do one more together. Open up. Very nice. All right, so that was for chest. We've done back, we've done chest. Next, we're going to do shoulders. So I want you to take that band or that tubing and put one end under one foot, okay? So that underneath my foot is secure. I've really got a good hold on it. The inside of my elbow is facing forward, my palm is facing forward, and my thumb is going to be up. Now, sitting up with that beautiful posture, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move myself so that you guys can see. Sorry about that. I should have done that before. There, now you can see my whole arm. So again, sitting up with that beautiful posture about the middle of my chair. And we're going to raise up. So we're just at shoulder height. That thumb is up, and then we're going to come back down. This is called a lateral raise, and it's for your shoulder. Up and down. Now, let me tell you, shoulders are tricky. Right? Sometimes people's shoulders aren't good, right? And so if you're having to do this to get that arm all the way up to that extension, maybe loosen off on your tubing or your band a little bit to make it easier, or you can do it without the tubing or the band at all. Okay, so even if you're doing it without the tubing or the band, your arm still has weight. And this is still a range of motion exercise. So recognize what you can do for your shoulders, right? Because shoulders are tricky, and we don't want you to be so sore tomorrow you never come back. All right, let's do one more. Up and down. Okay, now we're going to switch to the other side. So I'm just going to move the chair so that you guys can see the other side. So again, one end of the tubing is underneath that foot. I'm sitting about the middle of my chair. Inside of my elbows facing forward, palm is facing forward, and thumb is up. Shoulders are back and down to maintain that beautiful posture. And here we go, raise it up, just about to shoulder height, and back down. If you can go above your shoulder with this one, you need more tension on your band, okay? Because if it's too easy, then you should be able to, you're probably going over that shoulder height, but we don't need to get the exercise in the right muscle group, okay? Hopefully I'm making sense this morning. You can feel free to tell me if I'm not. Feel free to send a comment if you're like, what are you talking about? Okay, keep going. Maintaining that beautiful posture, our core is braced so that we're not arching through our back, right? We still have that amazing posture, up and down with that arm. And again, finding what works for you with that length of that band or that tubing, and letting it go all together if it becomes too much. Let's do two more. I don't know how many we've done. Up and down. Last one. Up and down. All right, now we're going to leave the tubing underneath that foot. We've done shoulders, now we're gonna do biceps. So we're gonna do a bicep curl. So we're just gonna do a regular bicep curl. So I have held onto the tubing a little bit lower than I was for my shoulder work. The inside of my elbow is still facing forward. My palm is facing forward. My elbow is close to my body, but it doesn't have to be tucked in. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to raise that hand up to my shoulder and come back down. Now, even controlled movements all the way up and all the way down. It's really easy with that band to come up and then boop, let that band pull you back down. So have resistance all the way up and all the way down. Yes. Beautiful. Up and down. Good. Up. Excuse me. And down. And up. And down. How many have we done? I don't know. Let's do 3 more. Can we do 3 more? 3 sounds like a good number, doesn't it? 3. And down. 2. And down, and last one, up and down. All right, now let's switch to the other side. I'm just gonna put my chair in the middle. You guys, of course, do not need to be moving your chair around like I am. So one end of that band is underneath that foot. Again, inside of the elbows facing forward, palm is facing forward, shoulders are back and down. I've got that beautiful posture. Okay, elbow is close to the body. Here we go, up and down. Yes, and you might notice, you probably will notice, that one side of your body is stronger than the other. That's normal. We all have one side that's dominant, right? And potentially that could be your stronger side. If you use that side for everything, it probably is, right? Up and down. Good. Keep going. Up and down. So that elbow that's into our side, we never want that elbow to be pointing forward at the end. We want to keep it tucked in close to our body and the point of that elbow to remain pointing down. Okay, up and down. Good. How many more of these can we do? I know you guys can't answer. How about 2 more? Does 2 more sound good? 2 and down, and last one. Up and down. All right. Okay, so we've done biceps. Now we're going to do triceps, which is the back of your arm. Okay, so what we're going to do is a tricep extension. This is a classic. So I want you to take that tubing or that band in the middle of your hand. You're going to take that across to the opposite shoulder. The top end of that band you don't need, so you can just throw it over your shoulder to get it out of the way. I'm going to turn to the side just so you guys can see me. I'm going to tuck this elbow in, and my arm is going to start at 90 degrees. It might end up a little closer together if you want more work, but it's going to start there. Holding onto that tubing with that top hand, what you're going to do is just straighten that arm down to your side and come back. So straighten down and back. Now you should feel this work in the back of the arm that's doing the movement. Okay, so down and up. Perfect. Down and up. Good. Down and up. I'm going to guess that this is like number 6. I don't know. If you guys are counters and I'm totally off, you can comment later and be like, your counting is bogus. I'm not very good at counting and talking at the same time. That's okay. I'm okay with that. 8. Let's do 2 more on this side. 9. 1 more. Down and up. All right. Now let's switch to the other side. So the arm that was doing the work is now the arm that is in the middle of that tubing or that band, and it comes across to the opposite side. Again, the top of that band gets thrown over top of that shoulder. The other side, that arm is at that 90-degree angle, holding onto that band. And if you want more work, if it's a bit too easy, the closer that your hands are together, the harder it's going to be. So we're just coming down and up. Now that top hand has to have a pretty good hold on that band or that tubing to make sure that it doesn't slide, so that you actually have that resistance. So even though it's my left arm that's doing all the movement, my right arm isn't just hanging out, right? It's getting some work in that hand and in that forearm from holding on to my tubing as I'm extending down and coming back up. So controlling that movement all the way down, all the way up. Yeah, down and up. 2 more. Down and up. No answer. No, I'm kidding. Down and up. All right, so that's it for this band. We're actually going to put it on the back of our chair. We have 1 more move to do before we move into our stretching, and it is going to be our abs. So I'm coming towards the front of my chair. I'll turn my chair sideways briefly so you guys can see. I'm at the front of my chair, sitting up with beautiful posture. My hands can either be on my thighs, crossed at my chest, or just touching either side of my head. I'm going to leave mine here for now. Looking straight ahead, not looking up or looking down. I'm just leaning back until I just about touch the back of that chair, and then I'm going to sit back up. All right, so back and up. Now you'll notice my feet stay planted on the floor. If your feet start to come up, you've gone back too far, okay? You want to tuck that chin as you're going so your eyes stay on the horizon. And you want to make sure that you are not rounding at your lower or upper back. You want to feel this work in your core, in your belly. Hopefully you are feeling it there. Down. Oh, I have some. And up. Good. Down. And up. 3 more. Down. And up. 2 more. Down. And up. Last one. We're going to go down. And up. All right, I'm going to turn my chair to face the front. We're actually, what do we got? We got 6 minutes. So we're actually going to move into our stretching. So if you're doing a half-hour block of work for a Forever in Motion program for class, there really isn't a lot of time to get much in. We did a warm-up, we did some strength, and now we're going to do our flexibility, right? So that's why I wanted to do a half-hour class, just to give you a shorter version of it, but also recognizing that if you're looking for more work or if you have more time, those 45-minute and 1-hour classes are also available on the site. Okay, so let's have 1 foot straight out in front of us. Our heel is down, our toe is up. We're going to start with a calf stretch. So all we're going to do is bring that toe back towards our shin. So all I'm doing is bringing that foot back towards my shin, and I should feel it in my calf, in the bottom of my leg. to have a beautiful stretch there. Good. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. And let's switch to the other side. So other leg is out, heel is down, toe is up. We're going to bring that, again, that toe back towards our shin, feeling the stretch in our calf, in our lower leg, below the knee. Just checking the time to make sure I actually stay on time. If you've watched a few of my videos, you know for me it's very hard to stay on time. I'm doing my best. This morning I will keep us to that 30 minutes. And release that. Now we're going to go back to that first leg. But this time, exact same thing. We're going to come out, heel is down, toe is up, but just relax that foot. My hands are going to go to my hips. What I'm going to do, my leg is straight or there's a slight bend in my leg. Okay, hands are at those hips. And I'm just going to hinge forward at my hips. I'm not bending at my lower back until I feel a stretch in the back of my thigh and in the back of my knee. Okay, I didn't have to move very far forward to feel this. Okay, if you're having to move really far forward to feel this, check your posture. Make sure that you still have got that great alignment between your ears, your shoulders, and your hips. Because oftentimes if we're rounding through our back, we don't feel this one. So make sure that you have that beautiful posture and you should feel it fairly quickly. All right, release that. Let's have the other leg out. So the other leg is out, heel is down, toe is up, but that toe is relaxed. That knee is slightly bent or straight, but not locked out. Hands are on those hips, and then you're just going to hinge forward. There it is. For me, it didn't take long until you feel that stretch in the back of that leg. Now you'll see my hand is on the leg that's stretching, but I'm not putting any pressure on it. I'm just resting it there. Or you can rest it here, or you can leave those hands on your hips. It's completely up to you. Just don't put any pressure on this leg. That stretch should feel awesome. One more breath here. And release that. All right, come towards the middle of your chair. One arm up towards the ceiling. One arm down to the floor. Stretch those two apart from each other. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Reaching up, up, up with that hand. Should feel really nice in your back with this stretch. Now I want you to still reach up, but I want you to reach slightly over. Now you're going to feel a stretch at your side. Come back up. Now, if it's comfortable for you, I want you to drop that hand down to the back, your back or the back of your neck, and you should feel a stretch in the back of your arm in your tricep. So whether you need to give it a little push from the front to feel that, or if it feels it right here, that's up to you. Now, if this is really uncomfortable, you can also stretch that tricep by taking this hand, coming across, so you're almost patting yourself on the back, and then what you're going to do is just give a little bit of pressure above the elbow and you should feel that tricep stretching. So either one works. Whatever works for you to feel comfortable. I know lots of people raising their hand above their head and dropping it like that just doesn't work, right? It's not comfortable for them. All right, release that. Other arm up, reach, 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 reach as high as you can for that ceiling. Up, 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 up. Excuse me. Now still reaching up, but slightly over to get that stretch in the side body and your side waist and your obliques. Good. And come back to the middle. Drop it down to the back of your neck. Again, we're feeling that stretch in that tricep, whether you need to push it from the front. Some people will do this and pull their elbow towards the back to feel that stretch, and that's fine as long as you aren't putting any pressure on your head or your neck. So if you can't reach that arm without pushing on your head or your neck, then that option isn't a great option for you. Good. Release that. Let's have one arm straight out to the middle. We're going to take that arm across our body, reaching with the other arm to bring it in for a shoulder stretch. Now, I like to go below my elbow. Some people like to go above. It doesn't matter as long as you feel the stretch in that shoulder. And make sure that that shoulder is away from your ear. So consciously make that effort to pull it away. That will make that stretch even better. Good. Release that. Other arm is out straight. We're reaching across. Yes. Give that shoulder a nice stretch. Nice deep breaths while we're here in our stretches. Stretches should always feel really good. They should not hurt in any way, shape, or form. One more breath. and release that. Let's have our hands in front. Let's end with a beautiful chest stretch. Open up through there. Take a nice deep breath and let it out. Bring those hands together. One more time. We're going to inhale. Open those arms up. Stretch it out. One more breath in. And let it out. Come to the front. All right. It's 11 o'clock. That was our class for this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed the half hour, and I hope that that is an option maybe that you were looking for and something that you were interested in having. I hope this worked really well for you. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to let us know, drop them here or send us a message. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.